Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Jesse Macaluso here, and this is the first video for the Conscious Astrology YouTube channel. On this first video, I'd like to talk about perception, the Hermetic principles a little bit, and just consciousness in general, and how it's shifting. So we'll start off with consciousness. I'm sure many people by now have heard of the Mayan apocalypse of 2012, and how much of a big letdown it was. But realistically, was it a letdown? I know for my own self that my consciousness definitely shifted. And from what I've come to learn about this, the Mayan apocalypse, it wasn't about destruction or anything horrible like that. It was an end of times as we know it. It was either we would destroy ourselves or we would rise above and become a more conscious collective. We chose the latter. So here we are 5 years down from that road, and the energy just keeps on increasing. Some of us are, for lack of a better phrase, getting our asses kicked. Weekly. It's just, can't get enough sleep, can't get enough energy work done. As soon as you think you're done transmuting, a whole new bag of things you thought were already transmuted pop up. Not the same things, but just different things, different programming, different bits of things that you've been carrying with you, altering your true... The narrative we tell ourselves is altered by society and cultural beliefs and the matrix control system and how it crushes down on all of those things. So our perception tends to be based off beliefs that are limited. You have limited beliefs, you then have a limited perception. And then you find yourself operating for years on end from a box of limited perception, as if being a bird in a cage, not knowing it can open the door and fly away at any time. Most people exist in society in this way, but it is changing. Perception, like I said, is based on your beliefs. So if you do the inner work and really care about yourself and care about your experience, your conscious experience in this holographic universe of pure consciousness, you will see that the tools will be provided to you. When you show that you want to do inner work, you'll come into things like this, the Hermetic principles. So I hope that after this, you will go and research the Hermetic principles. They have helped me greatly, and I intend to share them with you. I'll dive into them first with the principle of mentalism, the first principle, the quote from the Kabbalion that embodies this principle: the all is mind, the universe is mental. Many indigenous cultures knew about the great wind spirit. And if you look at modern science today, very similar to the Hermetic philosophy, the only thing that's removed is the idea of consciousness having a greater part to play. When you reinstate consciousness into the human experience, which seems like an odd idea, but in our society it is really devoid of consciousness and heart if you really look at it. There's definitely a low conscious awareness going on in the population. If you look at an inverted pentagram, if you know what that stands for, you have your elements, fire, earth, air, water, but then spirits at the top. The inverted pentagram, spirits now at the bottom, and materialism, the material world, is placed over spirit. That's the world we're living in right now. And if you really start to look at everything, everything is inverted. So you cannot really blame yourself entirely for succumbing to what's in this density. These are here to teach you. This density is a learning experience. So our job mainly is to stay in the heart and stay out of fear. You do those two things and you don't fall for the delusion of the matrix control. You don't think you're being held down. Yes, there are conspiracies in place to hold you down, but we can choose to go outside and away from those. We don't have to meet that with resistance head on. We can work as communities and fix the global family, the global condition as we know it, for the good. We're already way past the Mayan apocalypse date, 5 years. The ball is already rolling. We have won. The light forces have won. It's now time for pretty much the rest of this to be weeded out. And don't look to politics to save you. Try to stay away from the mainstream news organizations. They are controlled by the proverbial they that are keeping the rest of us down. The global population is expanding out from the consciousness of the peasant mentality that we used to have. We will no longer be subservient as a global population of 7 billion to a few million controllers that want to dictate everything for the rest of the world. And that's only if you look at the political. If you go even deeper, you'll see that it's far fewer people controlling how things are changing in the world. It comes down to money and power. But as we awaken, as more people get internet and become more aware of these things, as more people's intuition comes online, we're going to be less easy to be tricked as a global collective. You're seeing this change now. You're seeing small revolutions in certain areas. You're going to see a lot more things of this nature. But what really is required is just non-compliance with the old system that does not serve us anymore. I intend to do everything I can on this channel. And my partner, Megan Lynn, does astrology. So she will do natal chart readings and energy forecasts for the month for all signs as soon as she can get up and running. But until now, I'll handle the videos and I'll talk mostly about consciousness. I'll bring science into it. And where I find that there's discrepancies or congruency in them. So let me know what you guys think about this. Let me know what you guys think about Hermetics. If you went and researched it, let me know what you thought. Anyway, have a good one. Stay conscious.